Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out another Reddit story, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting a like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And today we're covering a saga which we've kept our eye on for a long time. And apparently there's been several updates since this has been going on. It's from DorkVader23 from the Wedding Shaming subreddit, and they're going to be continuing on their story if there's any further updates on their own Instagram, which is @JulietPepperwood. So, if you want to get involved over there, please feel free to do so. And it's the saga of Bride Made Profit on Bachelorette. And if you want to skip certain parts of the story because you've only just listened to them, please feel free to do so. Timestamps are always down in the description and along the timeline below. Thank you. So part 1 started off saying, "So much tea. I'm glad I can spill to my Reddit community because I can't gossip about it to my family." So, about 6 months ago, the bride planned a destination bachelorette trip and charged each of the 11 girls $650 for the Airbnb. I was salty about the high cost, but it's my sister-in-law, so I sucked it up and paid her. I was suspicious about the high as fuck price, so I did cross-check the Airbnb listing and checked it out. Yes, this bee wanted a $2,300 a night beachfront house. Well, today I'm chatting about wedding stuff with my brother, who is marrying future sister-in-law, and he said something along the lines of, "What a relief her dad paid for the Airbnb, because that would have been so expensive for your group." I about choked. I said, "Hey, are you sure about that? Because all 11 girls paid $650 for the house alone. Maybe run it by her." His face turned purple, so I take it he had no idea. To add to the greed going on here, when I got married, I flew her out, paid for her accommodations, paid hair and makeup, paid for a bridesmaid's dress, and paid transportation because she was going through a hard time. Now she has the balls to steal from me. I get that weddings are expensive, but don't have one if it requires stealing from your bridesmaids. I'm assuming I'm the only bridesmaid who is aware of what's going on here. Not sure if I should spill to the group or just let it go. There's a chance her dad stepped in and paid for it after the fact, and she chose not to refund us. I'm not clear on the exact situation and want to avoid embarrassing my brother. So Opie came in with a first update which says, "Thanks for all the advice and support. Yes, I agree with most of you who are saying I'm morally obligated to spill the beans because $650 is not child's play. This is what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to talk to my brother and give him a chance to clear it up with sister-in-law. Before I make a scene, I want to understand what's really going on. For example, did daddy pay for the trip but sister-in-law decided to put that towards a different wedding expense? Things like that. That answer will determine when and how I tell the rest of the bridesmaids. I'm going to give my brother only 1 to 2 days because this trip is literally next week. Stay tuned for update 2. Update 2. Alright, so I regrouped with my brother. My mum also stepped in, bypassed my brother and got some more info directly from her dad. Here's the tea." I forgot she says that. "Future sister-in-law's dad did not offer to cover the cost until a few months after we all paid for the trip. This was after he found out the cost and was pissed that she chose a $2,300 a night house and asked us to pay. Apparently, he threatened not to pay for the wedding if she added any more expenses onto the wedding party. Turns out she originally wanted it at the Maldives and he forbid her. According to my mum, who chatted with him directly, he felt embarrassed when he heard about the Airbnb price and wanted to save face with my side of the family. So he gave sister-in-law about $7,000 to cover the cost of the house. She was supposed to refund us, but obviously that never happened. This is where it gets good. So my mum went total FBI and learned that in addition to not paying us, sister-in-law didn't put money towards a different wedding expense either. She doesn't have it. So where did it go? What did she spend it on? There is currently a full-blown investigation going down between our two families right now. I've been asked by my mum not to alert the bridesmaids just yet until we get the last bits of info and come to a resolution with both sister-in-law and her dad, but we will tell them ASAP one way or another. I will come back tomorrow with another update. Wow, crazy. Update 3. The plot thickens. So, as this drama is all unfolding, the maid of honor, who doesn't know what's going on yet, is continuing her duties. We all get a 4-paragraph text from her outlining the dress code for each night of the Bachelorette, per the bride's orders. Keep in mind the bride is asking us all to go out and buy new outfits for each night of the trip, and the themes are wild. Animal print Thursday, faux fur Friday, sparkle dress Saturday, and Barbie brunch Sunday. As if we're all going to go out and buy that shit 1 week before the trip, or at all. Thankfully, the bridesmaids seem to be waking up to the BS. Several of them wrote back saying they won't be able to pull together those outfits in time, and one flat out said it's just not going to happen. But that's just a side story to the absolute shit show that is unfolding. My mum is very involved now, as she's paid a decent chunk of this wedding as well, and does not like that the bride is throwing around thousands of dollars from her dad as well as lying to the bridal party. She set up a meeting directly with sister-in-law to cut the BS and explain what's going on. She told sister-in-law she's going to inform the bridesmaids herself unless she gets a valid answer. At this point, I'm just shoveling down popcorn, waiting for the events to unfold. I will be back tonight with hopefully the final update. It's not, by the way. Next update, update 4. I forgot what this one's titled. A swan ice sculpture. She used the 7K to book a swan-shaped ice sculpture to be displayed at the reception and didn't tell anyone. Turns out her dad banned her from adding any more extras to the wedding design because it was already so expensive and unnecessary. When he Venmo'd her for the Airbnb, she thought she was being sneaky and kept it instead. She didn't even tell my brother this. He only found out that her dad decided to cover the Airbnb because those two went out for cigars one night and it came up. So that mystery is solved thanks to my mini FBI crew. But now the real questions remain. Where the fuck is my $650 and how to break the news to the bridesmaids? Out of the kindness of her soul, my mum is giving sister-in-law 24 hours to confess to the bridesmaid and figure out how to pay us back our money. Because you know what? I did not spend $650 on some damn ice. I have kids to feed, I have bills to pay. It has taken everything in me not to text the bridesmaid group right now, but my mum is trying to give sister-in-law one opportunity to do the right thing. This has been a roller coaster. Don't know if anyone here is still interested, but let me know if I should post a final outcome for my bridesmaids in one last update. Not again. Lord have mercy. Update 5. Okay, as promised, here is the latest tea, served boiling hot. This is a long update, and I'm going to try and get everything in. First, let's start with the bride's explanation to her family, myself, my mum, my brother, her fiance, and her dad. She broke down crying, saying that wedding planning has been getting to her head, and she has been crushed under the pressure to have the perfect wedding, which she felt couldn't go on without the alleged ice swan. I didn't buy her sob story. After this whole incident, I think she's delusional, controlling, attention-starving Bridezilla who is using the wedding as a way to compete with other girls on Instagram. By the way, her job is influencer, if I didn't mention that yet. My brother took the bait, and to be honest, I don't even blame him. This is his future wife, and he said he wants to help her with her mental health and get her back to a good place. He's disturbed by the situation, but will continue to support her. The wedding is on, for those who are curious. Next, let's get to the matter of the missing 7K and whether we're getting our money back. The sad, gut-wrenching answer, probably not. Her dad said he already paid the Airbnb cost once and he will not do it again. He said his daughter is 31 and needs to get herself out of her own mess and figure out how to make it right. She chimed in that the 7K is gone and asked how she would possibly pay us back. My brother refused to pay for a screw-up. While I love that everyone is finally forcing this bee to be an adult, I would like my money back more. Unfortunately, we're not going to get it unless she magically wins the lottery or gets a real job. For those that ask, there is nothing we can do legally. We are willingly paid a fixed amount, and we would have to move mountains and spend more cash to sue. Plus, while she was incredibly shady and a terrible friend, she technically didn't do anything wrong that we could prove. Now on to the bridesmaids. After some threats from my mum, sister-in-law finally broke down and contacted the bridesmaids in our group chat. She sent a text that made my skin crawl. Hey ladies, you're my bride squad, so I feel compelled to share that my dad recently offered to pay for our bachelorette accommodations. However, being that the wedding is so expensive, I've decided to put his donation towards a wedding expense. Hope you all understand, and I can't wait to party with you all next week. OP continues, "Oh hell no!" I immediately replied back, making sure everyone knew the expense was an ice sculpture. An ice swan. Come on, people. Many of them replied and expressed how they would have loved to have used that $650 for something more important. But ultimately, no one has backed out. One of the girls started a side chat without the bride and asked if there's any chance of getting our cash back if we force sister-in-law to cancel the reservation. Unfortunately, since we're only a week out, we aren't eligible for a refund. They decided to go through with the Bachelorette, or else it would be a literal waste of $650. As for myself, I'm in the same boat. I would rather run myself over than go on this trip, but $650 is not a small amount, and I can't fathom just throwing it down the drain. I haven't made my final decision yet. If I do go, it will solely be to avoid eating the $650 plus my airfare. I will not be doing any of the planned events or outfits, or even contributing even $1 more. I would have my own mini vacation as best as I can. I'm really upset that it seems like this crazy person is going to get away after all. Mini update 5A that says there are so many curious comments coming in, so I want to keep you in the loop. More drama has unfolded among the bridesmaids. The side text without the bride popped off, and we've all agreed to do the following. 1, we'll be going on the trip, but it is no longer a bachelorette trip. We'll all be taking personal vacations with our hubbies and significant others while staying at the property. We were forced into this beachfront mansion plus airfare, so we're going to make the most of it. 2, we have all backed out of hosting and paying for the bridal shower. The bride will need to find another way to move forward if she wants to have it. We will attend as guests if she has it, and we will not be gifting anything. Mother of the bride is absolutely furious. More on this later. 3, we're letting the bride know that she needs to cancel the ice swan and give us our money back. After some research, we doubt all of the $7K went towards the alleged ice swan because it doesn't seem likely that they cost that much. I won't be back for a while, but I want to save my next update for after the trip. Stay tuned. OP then left a comment that another media site had picked the story up and was going with it, but OP then adds what they called their final update. Again, it's not, but OP says, "Warning, this is a long one. The absolute tea I have today. It took me so long to write this because I'm a complete and utter loss for words. Where to begin? Let me start with this. There is no ice swan. There never was an ice swan. It was all an elaborate fabrication designed to distract everyone from where the missing 7K actually went. Rest in peace, Ice Swan." Turns out, there was a reason behind sister-in-law's luxury bachelorette location. Here's what happened. All the bridesmaids show up to the beachfront mansion with our significant others. Sister-in-law had already been made aware that it was no longer a bachelorette, but to our complete shock, she was still stunned that we actually meant it. She arrived last in her pre-booked limo, absolutely fuming that no one else showed up to the limo meeting spot at the airport. She was the only one sticking to the original itinerary. Then she was flabbergasted that the husbands and SOs were with us. It was a comedy show at best. Anyway, we went about our individual mini vacations, and eventually someone realized it had been about 48 hours since anyone had seen sister-in-law. I assumed she was mad and either flew home or went to stay somewhere else. Then the unthinkable unfolds. Sister-in-law rolls up the driveway in a wheelchair being pushed by 2 female nurses. The entire group jumped into action thinking something horrible happened. Everyone ran over to see what was going on, but the nurses ushered us away and wheeled sister-in-law into a room. At this point, I'm actually very concerned. We're all banging on the door asking if she's okay. The nurses eventually leave and say they legally can't reveal the nature of her health issue, but assure us she's fine. I call my brother and mum but get no answer. So I finally decide to call her mum, aka the mother of the bride, who was furious that we took over the bachelorette party. Mother of the bride reveals what actually took place. She isn't sick, she didn't have a health issue, there was no accident, she got her boobs done. Yes, folks, you read that correctly. She had planned as part of the original itinerary to disappear for an afternoon and return with a new set of melons. I'm sorry, what? The location of the beachfront mansion is conveniently 5 minutes away from a very famous cosmetic surgeon's office. The reason she needed this giant-ass property was not really to host 11 girls. It was to host 11 girls plus the surgery recovery nurses and personal chef she had reserved for after the operation. There is so much more we need to unpack. I honestly don't know where to begin. What was her mother's knowledge and involvement in all this? What was the cost of the procedure? Guessing around 7k. And why was it meant to be a part of the Bachelorette? What was the purpose of the Ice Swan lie? What the fuck? Will the bridesmaids, myself included, pursue legal action? Where does this leave my brother? Is this lady okay mentally? Was this a horribly misplaced cry for attention? Was it an FU to the bridesmaids somehow? So many questions remain. I am only a few hours back from this trip, so this is all the information I have right now. I was intending for this to be my final update, and I just want to say thank you all for your support, advice, bags of popcorn, and funny input. This has been a wild ride, and I'm glad I could share it with you. So far, we've had this crazy ordeal picked up by news publications, multiple podcasts, and a magazine. I literally want to write a book about this experience. I've already revealed a great deal of info, and so to protect my brother's privacy moving forward, I think I need to step away from the updates. But the next one was titled, "Not an Update." It says, "Hey friends, I'm getting boatloads of requests for an update, so I've decided to make you all a deal. I will come back with an update after the wedding in May. As of right now, it's still on. That's all I can say for now. Check back in May." Then, checking in. "Hi friends, thanks for being so patient for my update. I want to let everyone know I have the update of all updates coming for you. It turns out the drama just won't quit with this wedding. It's so juicy that for legal reasons I cannot share it yet, but we'll be able to post in a day or so. Check back soon." Update. The wedding is off. Alright y'all, get your comfy socks and your popcorn because I've been holding on to this update for so long and I have to get it all out there. I feel like at this point we've become good friends. Literally when I do these updates I like to imagine we're all together eating snacks and gossiping. I'm on desktop right now, so you know I mean business. Anyway, let me start with this. The wedding is officially off. I know a lot of you out there were team #cancel the wedding, so this should warm your soul. For me personally, I wanted it to work out for my brother despite her insanity. I was kind of hoping this would somehow all blow over like a bad dream and he would find normalcy again. Unfortunately, that is not at all the case. Here's what happened. When I last updated you, sister-in-law had pulled up to the Bachelorette with a set of new melons and shocked us all. We were left wondering what the fuck, and I told you I needed to stop the updates to protect my brother's privacy. Well, that's all changed now, and I've been given permission by my brother to spill the fucking tea. My brother was aware that sister-in-law had planned on getting breast augmentation at some point this year. He actually knew it would be during the Bachelorette trip. Despite thinking it was very weird, he really wanted to support us, so he kept her surprise a secret. What he did not know was that she may have used the bridesmaids' money or even the dad's to finance it. But it turns out that she did not in fact use our money or her dad's money to pay for the new titties. That's because her procedure was on the house. Why, you ask? Because she's been having an affair with a surgeon for over a year. Yes, yes, you read that correctly. She's been diddling her married plastic surgeon for more than 14 months. He's a very well-known plastic surgeon and his legal team has been on me like white on rice. There are limits to what I can disclose. At this current moment, I've been advised not to disclose the state he practices in, his name, or any personally identifying details. Back to the story. He wanted to fly her out for a complimentary titty upgrade. We found out because his wife found her sad little influencer Instagram page, tracked her down and showed up to the family home, which would be her father's house because she still lives there. There is so much more to say. I think I'm going to have to split this into 2 updates because my fingers are legit going numb. I really wanted to get that off my chest. I know you might be wanting to know the specifics, like, so where did the money go after all? How did the wife find out and what happened when she showed up? That's an update in itself. How is my brother handling this? Besides, of course, leaving her dusty ass. And what did sister-in-law have to say for herself? I promise I'll be back to finish this horror story. Next update. A few housekeeping items before I share the next update. 1. I thought you should all know that I now have to submit all my updates to an attorney for legal review before I can post them here. This is primarily because of the a high-profile surgeon who is aware of this thread in his legal team. The wife is also in the mix and wants to minimize fallout, so I'm dealing with her people as well. They can't stop me from telling the story, but they can come after me if I disclose specific things. Basically, everyone knows about this post now, sister-in-law included, but I promise I'm coming back to finish spilling the tea for you all on that. Ready your kettles. 2. The support, interest, fan club vibes this post generated has been amazing. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me on this crazy ride. 3. With the support has also come some negativity. I'm being impersonated online in a few places, and some people are trying to profit on this story by claiming it as their own. To combat this, I've listed my own information at the top of the post, which we shared at the beginning, and anyone else is impersonating me, and if you spot this story circulating online without directly tagging my Instagram or Reddit, it's not authentic. Due to the above, I've decided to copyright this content and will continue to amend it as I make the updates. Who knows? Maybe sister-in-law will star in a TV series or book about this nightmare one day. I've had some requests to timestamp my previous updates so new readers can get a better timeline. I backdated all of my updates. Please go easy on me as I can't remember the exact dates I came back to edit this post, though most dates are approximate. 6. Shout out to the podcast and other channels who have picked this up for a live reading. The ones I'm aware of include Thread Talk and Charlotte Dobre. I love listening to these. It's a cool perspective, so feel free to DM me if you come across any others. Be back soon. And it's just one of those stories that you think, things can't get any worse, can they? But they just continue to get worse and worse. And you think, from the very, very beginning, that's not normal behavior from one person, is it? Like the Bridezilla in this particular case. Inviting that amount of drama in your life is just absolutely crazy. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.